Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. It's Grace and today I'm going to be doing the Moody Book Tag. And so for this I was tagged by Ben over at the wonderful channel Overly Average Ben, whose name does not do him justice because he is definitely above average. He's wonderful, his channel is awesome, he's so funny and very insightful, and so I've loved watching his videos so far. So thank you so much for tagging me in this. And again, this is going to be the Moody Book Tag. So today we're going to find out whether I'm a mood reader or not. And in fact, the very first question in this tag is, do you consider yourself a mood reader? And I had to think about this because I didn't consider myself a mood reader, but I think the answer might be sort of, because I can usually read what I set out for myself to read, but sometimes if I'm not in the mood for a book, I just have to drop it or read it very slowly while I pick up something else that I'm maybe more in the mood for. So I think I fall somewhere in the middle. I'm not someone that can't plan at all because I don't know what I'm going to be in the mood for, but it does strike me sometimes where I just can't be reading the book that I'm reading because it's not matching up. So the second question in the tag is going to be, do you make TBRs and do you stick to them? So that's really related to what I was just saying, because I do make TBRs for myself, but my strategy when I'm making a TBR isn't a rigid list that I need to stick to. It's more like a couple more books in addition to what I know I'm probably going to knock out in a month, and then in that way, if I'm not feeling like reading something else on the list, I can replace it with something else, sort of. So I do set a TBR, but I give myself some flexibility, and I'm pretty good at sticking to them. I mean, sometimes a book comes along that I want to read immediately that destroys my TBR because it wasn't on it, but I think I'm pretty good at it, generally, to sticking to the TBR. The third question in the tag is, do books affect you emotionally, and does the mood of a book rub off on you? And this is going to be another one where it's sort of yes and sort of no, because do books affect you emotionally? Yes, 100%. Yes, books will affect my mood, and the mood of the book will rub off on me. I'm a very emotional reader. It's not super hard to make me cry. But the caveat comes in where, books will definitely make me feel all of those emotions, and obviously that will put me in whatever mood it's putting me in. But once I'm, finished reading, I can almost sort of separate it and set it aside. If a book made me cry, it obviously made me emotional, but if I put the book down, I can sort of, go wash my face and then, go on with my day, I guess. Unless it really takes me out. But for the most part, I'm able to recover pretty quickly from the emotion that a book will get from me. The fourth question in the tag is, do you read when you're sad, and what do you read when you're sad? Generally, for this, I'm going to say no, because I will be tired often, or maybe stressed out, but I feel like I'm not overwhelmingly sad very often, and when I am, I'm not in the mood to read. So I think that that's just a no. Unless it's a really happy, funny book, then I might be in the mood to read. But I think for the most part, if I'm sad, I'm gonna want to go watch TV or something that doesn't require as much from my brain. One of my go-tos is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If I'm ever in a bad mood, I know that I can just put that on. But I think that it just requires a little bit too much thinking from me if I'm in that state of mind, so generally no. The fifth question in the tag is, do you read to escape, learn, or critically reflect? And above all, I would say definitely I read to escape, I read for enjoyment. I'm reading a lot of things to learn in school anyway, but those aren't books. So when I go to pick up a book, unless it's a nonfiction book, but if I go to pick up a fiction book, I'm definitely reading for escapism. And then when the book is over, my level of enjoyment is the thing that I consider the most important, but when the book is over, I will go back and critically reflect on what I think the book did well or didn't do well, but that's definitely not my primary reason for reading it. The sixth question in the tag is name a book that made you laugh out loud. So I don't read a lot of comedy, so the one that I read recently that immediately comes to mind is going to be Mort by Terry Pratchett. And then the other one that comes to mind isn't like even a book really, or it's a book, it's not a novel, but that is going to be Strange Planet. This is so entertaining. So I'm sure that you've seen these around on the internet, but I got this on sale and it is just so cute and it's so funny. I love it so much. So definitely recommending this, even though it's not a novel. Now, the seventh question in this tag is going to be to name a book that made you cry. And I have a list. This doesn't include 2021, but just to give you an idea of how easy it is to make me cry in books, I did a little questionnaire to assess my reading at the end of 2020. And what I came up with for books that made me cry last year were The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, The Five People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom, On Mystic Lake by Kristen Hanna, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson, Educated by Tara Westover, When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi, Beartown by Frederick Bachman, Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So there were quite a few. So that was a list of 11 books, and I read like 70 books last year. So like 1 in 7 books that I read makes me cry. There are quite a few. I'm a baby, and I'm not ashamed of it. So, except that I am a little bit. The 8th question in this tag is name a book after which you didn't know how to feel. And I feel like what this question means is that you had mixed feelings about it, but I'm going to interpret it in a different way, and I am going to say the Stormlight Archive books. And what I mean by that is not that I had mixed feelings about them because I love them, but that when I finished them, I didn't know how to feel because they're the type of books where when I put them down, I'm like, oh wait, I still live in the real world. Like, it's like I'm closing like a portal and looking around me and being like, oh my God, I'm still here. I'm a human and I have like a life and I'm not like actually in the book. What do you mean? That is the epitome of like not knowing how to feel, being disoriented when you finish a book. The 9th question in the tag is, are you more likely to read on a rainy day or a sunny day? And I think that by far I'm more likely to read on a rainy day because I really enjoy the ambiance and like when the weather's bad, staying inside, getting cozy, like cuddling up with a good book. I love that. I really do like to read like outside when it's sunny out though. Like I'll go like outside and tan or something like that while I'm reading, or like bringing a book to the beach or something. So I like both, but I would say that like when the weather's really nice out, I'm more likely to be outside doing something else than I am to be reading. Although like I'm reading every day anyway, so I don't I don't know if I can like answer this question accurately. The 10th question in the tag is going to be a very short and sweet one. It is, do you set the mood? And the answer is no. I literally can pick up a book at any time, anywhere, and be reading it. I do not care. So, no. Okay, the 11th and final question in this tag is, do you leap from book to book or do you need a buffer period? So in terms of like how much normal human beings read, I would probably be considered as leaping from book to book. But I know that some people like read multiple books at the same time and or like will start a new book like immediately after finishing. So in that sense, I will say that like I need a little bit of a buffer period. Like say I finish a book in the morning, I'll probably let it go until like evening, until like before bed, before I'll like crack open another book. Or I do a lot of my reading at night before bed. So like if I finish a book one night, I'm gonna be giving it until the next day before I like can think about opening another book. Although sometimes, like if I have a really bad book hangover, I may not read the next day. But like now that I'm into my routine with how I read now, I really won't go more than a day without reading, because I'll just be like itching to get my hands, like there's so many things that I want to read that I'll just be like itching to get my hands on another book. So if we're thinking about like normal people, like the average person, the general population, yeah, I guess I do jump straight from book to book. So that was the final question in the tag. Thank you again to Ben for tagging me, and guys, if you don't follow Ben over at Overly Average Ben, please go check out his channel. I'm gonna have it linked below because he's awesome. And the two people that I'm gonna tag are gonna be Kate at the Almost Book Doctor, and then the second person is going to be Walker Writes 7. And so those are two channels that I have just recently subscribed to, and I love their videos, and so I'm looking forward to watching more, and I want to promote them to more people, and I don't think that either of them have done this tag. So I know you guys are tagged, and I'm really looking forward to seeing your videos when you get the chance to do this tag as well. So I think that we learned that I am somewhere between a mood reader and not. I definitely get emotional over books, but I can have some structure to my reading life. So I think that this was a really interesting tag. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed giving some thought to the questions, and I really liked the questions. I don't know who made this tag originally, but good on them. So that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Click like if you liked it, click subscribe if you would like to, and thank you again so much for watching. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye!